We're live. Welcome. We'll give it a few minutes. It takes a while for everyone to be notified that I am live on this beautiful, where I am beautiful. It could be totally not beautiful where you are, but it's beautiful. Sky is blue. The leaves are falling. It's fall. And we're live. We've got somebody on here. Hello. Welcome. Oh, here we go. Now we're cooking. We are cooking. That's the new word, I guess, you got cooked. We cooked. It's like, we got it done, man. We're making it work. Hey, Lauren, what's up? In Knoxville, Tennessee. Hello, Liv on YouTube. So, guys, it's happening. We are 5 days out. And I don't know about you, but it's just pull the Band-Aid already. Like, let's just do this. Let's get this done. Let's get it over with. Let's just get here. The waiting is the worst part. I don't know about you. The waiting, it's the drawn out, it's painful. It's painful. It's not fun. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for the show to get on the road because it's going to be a show. It's not like, oh, we had an election, so-and-so won, moving on, happy holidays. It's going to be, I don't know. I think it's going to get nuts. That's just my own prediction. I think when you have been holding on to power for as long as the left has, even including, you can get in a debate with, the Bushes, right? We're going far back to like globalists rule, right? Like the globalists having control, wanting control. I don't think they're going to be like, okay, we're just going to give up our power. I think it's going to get crazy. So buckle up. My sister said I should do an intro where I'm like getting on and like a flight of some kind, oxygen mask, seatbelt on. It's gonna be a ride. So here we go. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Vancouver, Canada. Hey, Canada, what's up? Beautiful up there. I'll trade you a cup of coffee for those earrings. They don't, thank you so much. My husband got me these actually. Thank you. I a quick story. So I was sitting down to get ready to do this, and I always do like a snapshot because I put it on YouTube. It's like a thumbnail kind of a thing. So I was like doing my thumbnail picture, and I like went to add it to my previous week. And I'm like, I am wearing the same clothes as last week. I was like, I can't do that. So I quickly changed into a different top. And here we are. So, and prior to this, as I was getting ready to have my tea, I squeezed my tea bag into my tea, and usually it is coffee, but lots of times it's tea too. And the tea just burst open. So if I get some, chunks of whatever I'm drinking in here, and just bear with me. We'll put a pause on it and I'll get through it. Okay. Random information. Andy, what's up? The only power above money and elites is our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. And that is what honestly provides me peace. And I know, and we can talk, usually I do kind of like a spiritual, just, at the end of this, but if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling anxiety, which I said I was at the top, but at the end of it all, like regardless of how this all happens, like we're all in God's timeline, right? So it's not like, oh, God is going to be surprised. Like, I had no idea. What are we going to do? Panic. He's got this. Like he does have it. He is sovereign. He's seated on the throne. He already knows who's going to win. It's all going to come about as he has planned. So my hope is we get a little bit of a reprieve, right? We get a little bit of a pause in all of the nuttiness, and a return to goodness and godliness, and stopping all of this junk that we have seen completely pushed on us in this last 4 years. What they're doing to kids and the trafficking of children at the border. It's like the drugs and the war and all of it. It's like, can we just get a pause on it? Just get a pause on it. So that is my hope. And that is why I'm supporting Trump. All right. So let's get started. Let's get started really quick with just an uplifting ad from hopefully the future president of the United States. I saw this, I heard it, and I was like, oh, I gotta start with this. So good morning, and watch this and enjoy it. Oh gosh, I just deleted it. Hold on a second. Just hold on. Just, oh my gosh, hold on.
Think about all they've done to Donald Trump. First, it was hoaxes, witch hunts, and impeachments. Then it was FBI raids, courtrooms, and mugshots. Finally, it was bullets in a Pennsylvania field. And after all that, this man stood up with blood draining down his face, pumped his fists in the air, and told us to fight. Fight. Fight.
America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer, greater, and more united than ever before. And we will make America great again.
We know what they think of us.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
So if Donald Trump can get through all of that, we can get out to vote. Yes.
Vote. It's all gonna, that's what it's gonna come down to. So, and to the Christians out there that are like sitting on the sideline, or Trump isn't Christian enough for you, or he's not conservative enough for you. Do it for the kids. Like Jesus, like the kingdom of heaven belongs to the children, right? Like, so let them come to me. And what they're doing to our children right now, the indoctrination that that's taking place in our schools, the confusion that they're putting on our kids, the mutilation of children that is taking place, annihilating life in the womb. And I get it. He's not as pro-life as you'd like him to be. But Kamala wants an abortion all the way up through 9 months. She wants the law of the land. So we can slowly work it back. But it's for the kids, man. They're trafficking children. We have over 300,000 missing children under this current administration, under Kamala Harris. Like, get out there and vote. Okay. You will be held accountable. You will be held accountable for your vote. Your vote is your authorization, and not voting is authorizing Kamala to do whatever she wants to do. So I highly encourage you, because you will have to give an account of how you voted and who you voted for before the creator of the universe, before the creator of life, who is pro-life. And he is pro-children. I'll tell you that. And what they've done to children, it is disgusting. It's sick. It's wrong. And it needs to stop. I don't know if any of you guys saw Biden biting a baby at the Halloween gathering they had. I mean, it's so disturbing. It's so dark. Jill Biden dressed up as a panda. You guys can figure out what that all means. It's just, hopefully people are waking up. So, okay. The hot one that came down this morning as I was getting ready, as we recap this week, you guys, we're going to start back at the very beginning. But first I have to cover the hot topic that is hot right now. The media is losing their mind because Trump sat down with Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson brings up Liz Cheney. And obviously Liz Cheney she's a total turncoat, right? I mean, she's gone from being a conservative Republican, maybe she never was one, to absolutely despising and hating Trump. Now, we know, if you understand Trump's policies all the way back even in the 80s, guy has always been anti-war. He's not a big war guy, doesn't want war. He believes in, if you have a strong military, nobody really gets involved in a lot of foreign conflict. Everybody kind of keeps the peace. We saw that under his past administration. So they're thinking, so that is his mindset. I don't want war. I don't want Americans going off to war. I want to have a strong military. It's kind of like this, show our signs of strength so nobody comes at us. And that's kind of what I want. I don't want my sons and daughters being drafted into war, going to fight in Ukraine, which is totally what would happen if Kamala gets in charge. I don't want that. So, but a lot of people profit off of war. They make a ton of money off of war. You have one of the biggest lobbyists in Washington D.C. are pro-war. They make the weapons for war. They make a lot of money for war, and a lot of the people and politicians and lobbyists and special interest groups and all of they make money. Right. So, hey, sorry, we got to send your son or daughter off, but we're making money here. And they like war. They want war. Plus, if you look at it, the unburdened by what has been route, if you go that route with Kamala, war will unburden, right? It causes a blank slate. It takes off so many people. It kills so many people. It causes so much to crumble that then you rebuild from the ashes and they can build their communist utopia. Those are the two angles here. You make a lot of money doing it. We can also unburden by what has been, and we can build this communist utopia, and we can all live in harmony while the elites rule over the peasants. That's basically what they want. Well, Trump's not for that. I'm not for that. MAGA, Make America Great Again, patriots that love this country are not for that. And a lot of even, I'm going to say it, Republicans are, sadly. So that's why we've seen, at the top of this, I show this ad for Trump about all that they've done to him. A lot of the people that have done harm to him have been Republicans, right? Because they're also, a lot of them make money. It's the military industrial complex. They make money doing this. And to have somebody come in, it's like, we're not doing it this way. We're not going to do this anymore. We're done. That bothers them immensely. So much so that, you try to kill a guy, right? They can't have it. So Cheney, who comes from a long line of pro-war people, is suddenly anti-Trump. It doesn't surprise me at all. So anyways, Tucker Carlson starts asking Trump these questions, and you can watch this, and then we can talk about what the media is basically saying about it. But here's this.
You to see Liz Cheney, that'd be Dick Cheney's repulsive little daughter, running against you with Kamala Harris.
Well, I think it hurts Kamala a lot, actually. Look, she's a deranged person. But the reason she couldn't stand me is that she always wanted to go to war with people. I don't want to go to war. She wanted to stay in Syria. I took them out. She wanted to stay in Iraq. I took them out. If it were up to her, we'd be in 50 different countries. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face. They're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. But she's a stupid person. And I'd have meetings with a lot of people, and she always wanted to go to war with people.
Okay, so basically what he says here, and it's pretty clear, they're cutting this clip down right now, and they're going to try to make another garbage. Oh my gosh, garbage stuff. Puerto Rico, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But they're going to try to they're trying to make it sound like Trump wants to line people up and shoot them, and he's a crazy fascist. The whole point of what he's saying to Tucker Carlson, obvious in the clip, is, hey, if you're so pro-war, let's put you with the rifle and send you out there and see how you feel if you have 9 barrels, 9 guns pointing back at you. Let's see how you do, because you're all about sending our sons and daughters. Why don't you go? And I would love that. How great would it be, you guys, of the people that are pro-war, if they have to sign a contract that they send their sons and daughters or their grandchildren to go fight in the war that they're authorizing? Because these people, they live behind gated communities. They're wealthy. They're making money off of people dying, and they have no problem sending people to war and killing people at all. They have no problem with it. Well, I bet you the tide would change if suddenly it's, oh my gosh, my grandkid is going to fight in this thing if I vote for it. If I vote yes, I'm sending my grandchild off to fight in this war, and I might not ever see them again. It would change a lot of it. And that's basically what Trump is saying. All these pro-war people like Cheney, you go fight in it. You go fight in it. But some of the headlines right now, my gosh, you guys, it's Trump says war hawk Liz Cheney should be fired upon in the escalation of violent rhetoric against his opponents at CNN. What do we got here? Washington Post. Trump supports war hawk Liz Cheney should have guns trained on her face. Trump, NP, I think this is NP, New York Times. Trump attacks Liz Cheney using violent war imagery. It's like, okay, like watch the story, watch what he's saying, and he's clearly saying, hey, if you're pro-war, you go fight in it. You know, suit up, Liz. Suit up and head out there. I mean, you go do it. But no. And I love Trump's stance. That's how it should be. Every single person that votes yes on funding these big wars, on sending our kids to war, you have to send your son or daughter or your grandchildren off to war too. So that would stop it pretty quick. But that's the hot one right now. So just be aware of it as you go throughout your beautiful Friday fall afternoon. Know that Trump's going to line people up and he's shooting. He wants to shoot Liz Cheney. Here's what it's going to do. Just the lies. And we'll talk about the gaslighting here shortly. Okay. So we got to talk about this. Colorado is making the news again with our wonderful, wonderful Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold. This woman, you guys, I mean, she should have resigned like the minute all of this dropped. Okay. But here we go. Jenna Griswold. Just let's read this. This is National Review. Jenna Griswold has exposed voting machine passwords to the public. It's so bad. This is the thing. I'm struggling with the words because it's like, really? We are 5 days out from an election. And this happened, I think, like a week out. Like, I think this was like 7 days ago. We realized that these passwords have been on a public website and through an Excel spreadsheet. And you can literally go to the hidden tab page on this spreadsheet and press unhide. And boom, there's 63 passwords for 64 of the counties to have access to our voting machines. I'm not kidding. Like, this actually happened. Okay. Remember, this is the same woman that worked so hard to get Trump off the ballot here in Colorado. I mean, she was like, he's a fascist. We can't have him. He's violated the Constitution on January 6th, and we have to remove him from the ballot. These people that are so pro-democracy don't want you to be able to vote for who you want to vote for. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense because they're not for a democracy. They want to rule and reign and tell you who you are allowed to pick. And it has to be approved by them. And so she wanted Trump off the ballot, got turned down by our Supreme Court, rightfully so, like a 9-0. Like, just shut the woman down. She's been accused of all sorts of stuff. Very shady lady. So the Secretary of State left voting machine passwords available on a spreadsheet posted to an official government website and only fixed the situation after the issue became public. Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, an elected official who was pushed to push former President Trump to be removed from the state's ballot, found out about the password leak on October 24th, but her office only remedied the situation after receiving public scrutiny. Local outlet 9 News report. So here is the local 9 News. Now I've got so much to say about our local news. It's propaganda here, like straight up. And this guy that you're going to see that's interviewing Jenna here in a second, he's no Trump supporter. He's no conservative here. There's a lot of inside politics going on just in Colorado. Because they're all vying now for the governor's seat, these Democrats. Because Jared Polis, it's just such a mound of horrible people running the state right now. Our current governor, Jared Polis, is term limited, right? So he's on his last term here. So all these Dems, Jenna, Phil Weiser, our attorney general, they're all like, inner politics, trying to get the role, get the tap, get the nod. And, Kyle Clark here is, he's part of the whole thing. He sees it all, but he does ask her some hard hitting questions and everybody was like, oh, because he never does this. I mean, he never asks real questions like a journalist does ever. ever. It's always softball stuff. So that's probably why Jenna agreed to come on, because she's like, oh, it's Kyle. Yeah, I'll totally go on with Kyle. What time? Okay, fine, I'll be there. Yeah, put me on with Kyle. So she goes on with Kyle, and out of nowhere, Kyle starts asking her some serious questions. Here we go.
Not the first time that your office has made mistakes that have damaged voters' confidence in our elections. In 2022, your office sent out mailers to 30,000 non-citizens inviting them to register to vote. They, of course, are not eligible to register to vote. That same year, your office used Colorado's ballot tracking system to send messages to specific Coloradans encouraging them to vote when, in fact, they had already voted, causing confusion that had to be cleaned up by the county clerks. And now this leak of the voting system passwords. Given your office's repeated errors that have damaged confidence in our elections, which you say is paramount, will you resign?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No, she's got to feel that she's got to finish this thing, right? I mean, she's got to finish this up. It's not, we are 5 days out from an election, and there's no way that she would step down. She's in the final stretch. And I just want to say this, okay? I have lived in Colorado since 1993, so quite a while, guys. And I mean, well, of course, you know, in my 20s, I lived in LA for a while, Los Angeles, and we talked about that before. But my family's here. This is where I am. This is where I'm planted. I'm all about fighting for what, you know, you got. And there are tons, just so you know, conservatives in Colorado. There are tons and tons of freedom-loving Americans that live here. All right. We've got Boulder, we've got Denver and Pueblo, right? These little pockets that are blue. But when my family moved here years and years ago, this was pretty much like, it was a purplish red state. Okay. We had a Bill Owens, we had a conservative Republican governor. And then we start this mail-in ballots, right? And that's been going on for years here in Colorado, and we have turned blue. And yes, I will contribute. A lot of that has to do with a lot of Californians. They love Colorado. It is great. It's wonderful weather. You can have, in the middle of January, you can have a bright blue sky and it can be 60 degrees outside. But you still get the snowfalls that melts quickly. It's gorgeous. And I'm an outdoorsy person. I like to be outside. My family's outside. We're outdoor people. So a lot of the Californians have moved here. And of course, because, you know, lefties are not that intelligent, they're fleeing a leftist state to come and vote for more leftist policies that they fled from. It doesn't make sense, but they don't know that yet. We're trying to reach them. But I will tell you, this state, I don't know. I question a lot of I question even the conservatives that have run the elections, that are in charge. And I do question the balloting process. I really do. And I think that hopefully, let's just pray that if Trump gets in, I think a lot of this will be uncovered. And we're actually hearing about it a lot now. You're hearing about this huge story that's breaking in Colorado. I mean, come on. Passwords to our voting machines, everything. I mean, like, honestly, it's insane. To what was it? The BIOS passwords. So when I looked up what BIOS means, it's basically the firmware. It's the basic set of instructions that turns everything on. So it gives you access to all of it. Like, what? I have no idea if they've changed the passwords. I have no idea if the county clerks have met, have there's been a new issuing of the passwords. I basically feel, to be honest with you, like Colorado's completely compromised. Like, and I voted already. So I really question the results. I do. Jenna also, as mentioned earlier, she sent out 30,000 mailers to non-citizens in 2022. She's encouraged many Coloradans. She sent out messages to Coloradans also in 2022, encouraging them to vote after they've already voted. And this is the real kicker, because there's a woman here that really came forward and exposed a lot of this. Her name is Tina Peters. And she was calling a lot of this out in the last election in Mesa County. And with her exposure to what is going on with the elections and the voting machines and all of this stuff, she accidentally exposed some of the passwords, right? Okay. She did pretty much what Jenna just did. Okay. But Tina Peters has been sentenced and is now serving a sentence in jail for 9 years. She has no criminal record. She's no violent record of violence, nothing. Her son, she is a Gold Star mother. She lost her son in war. And she calls all this out, and now she is in jail right now. So I'm hoping that we get Trump in there and we get some kind of pardon, because this is criminal what Jenna did. She was cheering when she got Peters locked up, and now she's done the same thing. And I, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, that should enrage you. Like that should make you mad. If your guys do it, you lefties, you trolls, your guys do it, and you get you're not even going to resign, and yet your opposition does it, and they're in jail now for 9 years. Like, how can you? I don't know how Jenna can sleep at night. Like, I really mean that. I have no idea how you could go lay in your bed at night on your pillow, your head on your pillow, and be like sleeping while you put somebody in prison for 9 years for doing what you have done. It's messed up. It's messed up. She also, just in this election, submitted 12 mail ballots, 3 passed signature checks. The others did not, and yet they were placed with the qualified ballots in Mesa County. So Mesa County calls this out. They're like, hey, and they're like, doesn't matter. We're gonna put them in the qualifying ballots, and only 3 passed signature check. The others did not, and they still put them in with the qualifying ballots. It's just, I don't know. But this is the thing, and I get this a lot. People are like, well, you know, what's the point? They're just going to cheat anyways. They're just going to cheat. Doesn't matter. Like, it's hard to beat something that is so monumental, so large, so huge that you can't cheat. Like, honestly, too big to rig, too big to cheat. Like, that's what we need. So if you're sitting on the sidelines and you're like, you know, I just don't know. I think I want communism. I think I want Marxism. Then, you know, don't vote. But if you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I don't like it that the bad guys keep winning here. I don't like it that we've got Tina Peters locked up for 9 years here, and Jenna Griswold's running around saying that she's refusing to resign. Like, I don't like that. You know, that bothers me. I'm ready for some justice. I'm ready for some people that have been doing bad things to finally reap what they have been sowing. Like, I'm ready for that. It's time. Get out there and vote. Vote, vote, vote. And we have to turn up so big, so large that they can't stop it, that they can't rig it. We have to take a couple states that they don't even have on the map. Like, they've already given it to the Democrats. We have to flip them. Like, that's what I want. Like, so big, so monumental that we take the popular vote, and then it shuts down the whole electoral college jargon that they come up with every single election cycle. Like, that's what we need to do. So vote. Someone saying that they never fix the fraud. A lot of the fraud is actually being called out now, which is, I know it's not like, oh, too late, but a lot of this, we have several lawyers. If you look at Laura Trump, she is doing a fantastic job right now. They've got a team of lawyers in every single swing state right now, and they're already calling stuff out, getting all the information out there. They're already starting to start processes of possible lawsuits and stuff like that. This is already, just so you guys know, there are more lawsuits right now starting to take place in this current election, and the election hasn't even taken place yet. So they're already calling out the fraud. They're already calling out the cheating. They got people in Pennsylvania stopping people from getting in lines at in the middle of the afternoon. They've got people working on that. They're calling it all out. The great thing about early voting early is we didn't do that in 2020. Remember, it was like we all held out. We were like, you know, we're going to go on election day, and everything was like the day of. But when you do that, the cheating, there's so much cheating that you can't even, it's just like a blur, right? But if you space it out and you start voting so early, and you can start to have the people that are seeing cheating, that are witnessing stuff happening, then you can get lawyers on the ground. You can get it called out. You can get before judges. You can do all this stuff earlier. And that's what's happening right now. And that's what we're seeing, actually. So even with Virginia, they wanted to, and listen to this. I mean, if you're a Democrat, I don't know how you, I don't know. They had so many non-citizens on the voter rolls in Virginia. Okay. And Governor Youngkin there is like, we have to get these non-citizens out off the voter rolls. Like, why are they getting ballots? Why are they voting? Like, they're non-citizens. It's proven that they're non-citizens. They need to be removed from voter rolls. Well, the Democrats are like, no, they got to stay on. And listen, I don't know how you defend that as a Democrat. Like, honestly, I don't know how you, I don't get it. I honestly, I can't wrap my head around it, how you're advocating for non-citizens, people that are not contributing, that have not come in the right way, that are not obeying our laws, how you could just want them to vote in a country that they're immediately disrespecting by violating the proper way to enter a country. Like, I just don't get it. So anyways, the Democrats are like, no, we want these non-citizens to stay on. Well, finally it went to the Supreme Court and they were able to get these guys removed. So this is happening. It's happening all around the country, and be encouraged. Like, just be encouraged and get out there and vote, and get just one person to go with you and vote. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So that's what's going on in Colorado. This is just only going to unfold. Actually, the Trump campaign has issued a statement. Gosh, I think I did retweet that. Let me look. They issued a statement on Jenna, calling it out. And actually, what did they say? If I could read this to you guys. They gave her a list of things that she needed to do. She needed to identify the counties with the biosphere passwords listed on a spreadsheet disclosed by your office were current as of this most recent trusted build. So they're asking like new passwords be put out. A list of, I think you can read it. I retweeted it. And this was to be done yesterday by 10 a.m. And so we don't know if Jenna's done this or not. But Scott Gessler has put this out, and he is a lawyer here in Colorado. But so the Trump campaign is on it. So that's what's great, because you think about this, if this wasn't exposed, if this wasn't brought to light, then it comes out later. And then it's like, everyone's like, oh no, the election already happened. Just be quiet. Like, it was all shut down in 2020. But if you're seeing this happen now, then you can call it out. So, PA last election, Shapiro basically rolled out the blue carpet for Friday. I know. We need Pennsylvania, you guys. We need Pennsylvania. Okay, moving on. So at the very beginning of this week, on Sunday, Trump held a rally at Madison Square Garden. And you would think the left, the way they responded to this was unbelievable. They lost it. And this is Tim Walz. Just watch.
Trump has descended into madness over the last few weeks. And I think some of you don't miss on this. Go do your Google on this. Donald Trump's got this big rally going at Madison Square Garden. There's a direct parallel to a big rally that happened in the mid-1930s at Madison Square Garden. And don't think that he doesn't know for 1 second exactly what they're doing there.
Okay, so this is their approach. They're like, if you gather at Madison Square Garden, then you're a Nazi. Like, that's what they're gonna go with. That's what they're going with. Let's just ignore the fact that Madison Square Garden is a huge venue. Thousands and thousands and thousands of artists come there every single year and perform. And the Knicks play there. Are you gonna tell me? And the Rangers, I think, are you gonna tell me that all those people are Nazis? Like, all of those people that have gone to Madison Square Garden are Nazis? Like, that's how hysteric these people sound. They've lost it. Like, they're losing their minds. They're calling anyone that supports Trump a Nazi. And this is Kamala Harris being asked if Trump was a fascist. Here, where is this? We gotta play this one by Anderson Cooper. Watch this.
Think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I also believe that the people who know him best on this subject should be trusted.
Who are the people that know him best on this subject? the globalists that surrounded him, the snakes, the sheep and wolves, the wolves in sheep's clothing. I said that wrong. That surrounded Trump in his first term. Like, let's remember, Trump was an outsider when he got into DC in 2000, when he was sworn in 2017. Like he wasn't a politician. Like he had no knowledge of the good guys or the bad guys or who was on his team or who wasn't on his team or what any of these people were about when he got into office. And so he gets in there and he is surrounded by wolves in sheep's clothing. He is surrounded by generals and military officials and all sorts of bureaucrats that are trying and just cannot wait to stab him in the back. And that's what we saw in his initial administration. Why they're so terrified of him now is because he knows who the snakes are. He knows who the bad guys are. He's much more informed. He's much more alert, and he's going to get it all out. He really will be able to actually drain the swamp because he'll be able to identify the swamp monsters and swamp creatures this time around. And so they're calling him a fascist. So that's the new thing. And I had to do a satire on this at the beginning of the week because that's what they are deciding to go with. So here we go. I'd like to thank all of you for joining this Democrat strategy session. Well, here we are. We're in the final stretch. It's October. We are days away from the election. And I think our final play should be to call Trump Hitler. To tell people that he will be Hitler if he is elected president. Thoughts? Yes, Karen.
Yeah. Trump was president for 4 years, and he didn't act like Hitler. So I don't think the American people will go for this one. So.
Oh, they'll buy it, Karen. Okay, with the media's help, we'll tell people that Trump will shred the Constitution, that he'll try to stomp out Americans' right to free speech. He'll take away the Second Amendment. He'll be a dictator, okay?
But that's what our party has been trying to do. So.
I'm sorry. What, Karen? What did you just say?
I mean, haven't we colluded with big tech to shut down free speech? And we do want the guns, so.
Karen, have you voted?
Yes, I voted early.
Did you vote for Kamala?
I voted for it. Yep.
Did you vote for Kamala?
I voted.
Get out of my office, Karen. Get out! I think Karen is a closeted Trump supporter, guys. I think she is. I do love playing that character. I'm not going to lie. So we've had so many, if you've been following me for a while, we have had so many Democrat strategy sessions. So I'm watching, I'm observing, I'm thinking, okay, the next strategy, the final play is going to be Trump is Hitler. Even though they did that in 2016, it didn't take, but they're not creative people. They're redundant. It's like, oh my gosh, it's either you're a racist, you're Hitler, you're a fascist, you're a misogynist. I mean, they just pick from like about 5 of them, and like I guess they roll the dice and decide which one to go with. So they went with Hitler, and anyone that goes to his rallies is a Nazi, and they're all fascists, like Kamala said. Like that's the play, right? And I was like, okay, I guess that's the play, but I was wrong because there's much more that happened as the week unfolded. But we have to address the comedian Tony Hinchcliffe talking about how Puerto Rico was a pile of garbage or something like that. Okay, we'll get the exact joke. So they're having this rally in Madison Square Garden. and they have a comedian come on. Now, I've been to several Trump rallies, okay? There's always a lineup of guest speakers. They always come on. They start about a couple hours before Trump even shows up to the venue. They just do. It's kind of entertaining the audience. It's an all-day event because there's so many people that come. They need someone to they need people to like entertain and talk to the crowd and keep them engaged. And so because it's long. I mean, if you go to a Trump rally, it's like your day. It's the day. Because the lines are long, people want to get in, they want to see it. It's an incredible experience. I highly recommend it if you get the opportunity to go. It's so fun being surrounded by so many people that love America, that see what's happening, that are concerned about this country, all gathered and all excited about making America great again. So but anyway, so they have this Tony Hinchcliffe guy, a comedian. He is famous for the Tom Brady a roast, and that's what he does. He roasts people. He offends everyone that he calls out. Like that's what he does. Like that's his job. And I guess because I have a background in comedy and I love comedy, and I think I think that people are way too easily offended, and you have to be able to make fun of yourself. Like I mean, I do. I have no problem putting on a wig and looking like an absolute idiot. I do it all the time. In fact, when I'll be in the middle of like getting a wig on her, and I'll look at myself and I'll be like, oh my gosh, Rachel, you look so terrible. But let's keep going. So you have to have a sense of humor. The left does not have a sense of humor at all. So does this guy say like an off-color joke? Yes, he does. Is it offensive? Yes, but it's your choice whether you choose to be offended or not. And obviously, after I play this, you'll see that the audience didn't really like the joke. They actually kind of booed. So it wasn't like a cheer. It was like, ooh, like that was, ooh, like not necessarily the best joke. Kind of offensive. And so this is what he said. He goes, there's a lot going on. I don't know if you know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. I think it's called Puerto Rico. So here is Tony. You can see it for yourself. Here is this guy. Let's see if I find him. Do I have him? All right. And I obviously don't have him. Hold on a second. Give me a second. I'm going to have to add it to the stage. Wow, you guys. I am not doing well this morning. Hold on. I'll have to add it. And I did add it. Let me find him. Tony, where are you? Here he is. Okay. Here you go. Oh, okay. We'll just delete this and then we'll add. Oh my gosh, this is taking too long. It's hard when you're your own producer here, you guys. Okay, here we go. Here's Tony.
Going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody.
Okay. So he even recognizes that the audience like, no. And he's like, okay. Like, that might have been too much. I'm sorry. And the audience responded to that. And that's the Trump people there. Those are Trump supporters. They're like, I don't know. I don't really think I like it. Not good. And he's like, okay, it's hard to follow the national anthem. Okay, sorry. And the media went wild with this, you guys. They went wild. Suddenly it's like Trump is saying that Puerto Rico is an island and it's just garbage. It's a garbage island. And oh, the people are garbage. And they just started lying and trying to tie Trump into it. Trump isn't even there. I guarantee you, he does not show up. He does not show up till right when he has to walk on. Like that's when he shows up. So there's all these people that are talking and performing beforehand. He didn't hear it. He wasn't there for it. And he said he didn't like it himself. But the media was like, oh my gosh, we have to talk about this. And drama, because they have to whip this stuff up. That's what they have to do. Like they've got nothing at this point. They are scrambling. They don't know what their candidate even stands for. They are lost. And so I feel like it's like a point of hysteria where they're like lashing out and they're just like, let's let's call Trump Hitler. Let's call them fascists. Let's say that this Tony guy, they're racist and they hate Puerto Ricans, and like they did just like anything, like they're grabbing at anything they can do and anything they can find. Because you can feel the shift is in Trump's favor, if we're honest. But that doesn't mean you don't go vote. That doesn't mean you get too cocky. That doesn't mean you get overly confident. That means you go vote. But they can sense it. And so they're lashing out. And then, of course, the media runs with it. They run with it. They, oh my gosh, they start interviewing people about how offensive his comments were on Puerto Rico. And that was kind of what was taking a lot of the steam, right? It was taking a lot of the news headlines. And then Kamala decides to hold a huge rally in Washington, D.C., right where January 6th happened at the Ellipse. And she's like, I'm going to talk about just the horrendousness of what happened at January 6th. This is going to be my big moment. This is going to be where I really come across as presidential. And I tell everyone that I will be, a president for all people. Even though I called Trump fascist and Tim Walz, my running mate, thinks that anyone that attends a Trump rally is a Nazi, we're going to unite. We're going to unite this country and just vote for me. I'm Kamala. So she's giving this big speech, right? She's getting a lot of press, a lot of attention. And then out of nowhere, Joe Biden decides to go on a live Zoom call. He goes on a live Zoom call with Latinos that are supporting Kamala. And I don't know if this was planned or if it was just off the cuff or what happened, because I have no idea why Biden would be doing anything that would contradict with Kamala's big moment, right? Like, if you're gonna let the candidate you supposedly support have her moment in the limelight, in the spotlight here, and you're getting online and you're starting to do your own Zoom call with somebody that takes viewers away from her. But he does it. And there's part of me that like, is this intentional? Like, are they not communicating? Like, I know that they don't like each other. I know that this guy's kind of a falling out. Like, but like, is it now like, are we aggressively trying to sabotage Kamala? Like, and Biden is talking about this whole Hinchcliffe comedian moment and about garbage and Puerto Rico and all of this stuff. And he's asked, I don't even know what he was asked, but he ends up saying that Trump, the only garbage I see out there are Trump supporters or Trump supporters. Okay. So basically, while Kamala is talking about uniting the country and trying to like backtrack a lot of like her calling Trump Hitler and a fascist and Tim Walz saying that we're all Nazis, like Biden gets on and he's like, I'm going to call Trump supporters garbage. That's what I'm going to do. So he gets on, he calls Trump supporters garbage, which then like is a media firestorm. Like it just gets like, it's like, what? You just called half the country garbage because they're not supporting Kamala? Like, that's not a good play. So when I thought, oh, they're going to call us, I thought the play at the beginning of the week was, they're fascists, they're Hitler. But then they spun it on me. They spun it on all of us. And now they decided to say, you know what? Scratch the Hitlers, scratch the fascists. We're just going to call them all garbage. And I have no idea, like, why anybody that is in the middle, or they're like, okay, I can't decide. And I don't know how you can be undecided at this point. But let's say you are. You're like, I don't know. I don't think hearing one of the candidates, huge like surrogates, like that's Biden-Harris administration, calling half of the American people garbage is going to motivate you to turn out and vote for Kamala. Like, it's just not like that's what'll do it. That's it. I just needed that. All I needed is for him to say that half of America is garbage. Because remember, you guys remember this, back in 2020 when COVID was hitting and it was like, oh my gosh, it's just a hostile environment. It's just so hostile and Trump is so divisive and I'm just tired of it. We just all need to get along. We need to get along. And Biden's whole play was, I'm going to unite everybody. I'm going to come in and I'm going to unite everybody, right? We're all going to get along. We're going to stop the divisive rhetoric. And we didn't see that happen. Like the last 4 years have been so tumultuous, so dividing, so just contentious. And we've seen them lock up political opponents. We've seen them like completely abuse the Department of Justice to go after people that do not align with Kamala and Joe Biden. We've seen them like lock up people that like protest out of abortion clinics. We've seen such division, such hate, such violence from the left over these last 4 years that it was a total lie. There's no unity. They're not about unity. They hate us. And what you heard Joe Biden say when he said we were garbage, he meant it. He meant it. He believes that we are garbage. He believes it. He believes that you are garbage. He believes that if you want a secure border, if you don't want kids being chopped up and mutilated, if you don't want to see full-term babies aborted, if you don't want to see a third world war, if you don't want to pay extra money in the groceries and not be able to afford anything, if you don't want that, then you're garbage. Okay? He means that. The last 4 years have proved that he means that. Tim Walz does think you're a Nazi. He means it. Kamala thinks Trump supporters are fascists. She thinks Trump is fascist. Even though they're the side, remember this, they're the side that wants to shut down free speech. They want to censor you. They want to take away your rights as an individual American. They're the fascists. And they mean it. They mean it, you guys. And they are spouting this divisive, evil rhetoric continuously. And then they try to backpedal it and tell us that, oh, that's not what they meant. And I'm done. I'm so over it. I'm over it. And I did this quick clip that I want to show you. It's less than a minute. But I shot this right after, actually, I did a private video from just my supporters. And then I heard that Karine Jean-Pierre basically got up in front of the American people, the press secretary, and she told us, she said, Biden didn't say that Trump supporters are garbage. When we heard him say it, when I saw him say it, and this is what I got to say about that.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Your other question that you asked, no, he does not view Trump supporters or anybody who supports Trump as garbage. That is not what he views.
Aren't you guys tired of this? I mean, it's been non-stop gaslighting. You see something with your own eyes. You see it. And they're like, that's not happening. It's just not happening. Hurricane Helene didn't cause total devastation. The border's secure. Children aren't being trafficked. The economy's doing great. We aren't on the verge of World War III. We never called them Nazis. Trump supporters are not garbage. You said it. We saw you say it. I'm just over it. I'm over it. I hope you are too.
And I am over it. Like, I'm so done being gaslit and lied to. I'm done being told that the economy, like, this is a big one for me because I am very much like the mom in my home. Like, I do all the grocery shopping. I'm in charge of the bills, and I'm done. I'm done being told that it's great, that everything's fine when the finances don't say that. Okay, when the grocery prices don't say that, when I'm filling up my gas tank and I'm like, no, everything is not great. When I see our open border, when I see Venezuelan gangs taking over apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado, and I'm being told that's not happening when it is happening, I'm done. I'm so over it. And I hope that you guys are over it. And if you're over it, go vote. Vote. Get out there and vote and get someone else to go with you and vote, because we have to be so done. Because if this continues, this country will be done. We have to stop it. We have to tell these people they got us no more. We're not going to listen to you anymore. We're done hearing your lies. We're done. We're done. Goodbye. Bye-bye. That's where I'm at. So anyways, so Trump, being the brilliant campaigner he is at this point in time, and I will tell you, I have watched the Trump campaign just become so much more skilled at just being more guarded on what Trump says, because I know that people are like, oh my gosh, can't believe he said that, and offended by tweets. So they're strategic about that, but just the way that they have run this last campaign, I am very pleased with. I really am. I think that the McDonald's move, putting him in the McDonald's, that made headlines. It made him very likable. It made him appear just, it totally destroys the media narrative, right? And the media narrative has made, oh, he's Hitler, he's horrible. And then they're like, okay, well, let's see Hitler in a McDonald's. Let's just see what he looks like in the McDonald's. And then you see Trump in the McDonald's. You're like, it just doesn't come across as Hitler to me. It just doesn't. So it's destroying the narrative. So so Biden calls us garbage, and then Trump does this.
I like my garbage truck. This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
I love it. He shows up in a garbage truck, and he talks to the press in the garbage truck. And the press is just enraged by this because they have to cover what he's saying, and it shows him in a very likable manner. Guy is in a garbage truck, and I loved it. Brilliant move. Pulls up in a garbage truck, and then he shows up later that evening to the Trump rally in I think it was, where is it? Was it Madison? I know it's in Wisconsin. And here he is. And I love this. Just watch this.
And then I got in the car, and I'm driving over here, and I have this still on. And I come into the arena, and I say, where's my jacket? I want to get out of this thing. And they said, it would be unbelievable if you could wear it on stage. I said, and I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket. But if you did, it actually makes you look thinner. I said, oh. And they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage. When they said I look thinner, I said, in that case, I'll wear it on stage. I may never wear a blue jacket again. I may go in this. They said that was the word, that was the key. Sir, you look thinner. So anyways.
I love it. And they're telling you this guy's Hitler. Like that's just, it's more gaslighting. That's gotta bother you, right? Like, you see the likability-ness. You see he's got a sense of humor. You see he can talk for hours off the cuff. He went on Joe Rogan, and I don't think I even covered that like in my last stream because I think it happened right after that. But he went on Joe Rogan. He's able to talk for 3 hours. He's able to just be himself. He's comfortable in his skin. He is funny. He does have a sense of humor. And their candidate doesn't. She doesn't. She is a puppet. She is whatever she needs to be for the machine that is running this whole thing. And if you have liked the last 4 years, then you're going to want Kamala. But if you're done with the last 4 years, if you're done being gaslit, if you're done with the lies, if you're done with the economy, if you're done with the possibility that your child could be sent off to war, Kamala is not your candidate. She's not the one that you should be voting for. It's Trump. I get it. You don't like him. I mean, it doesn't matter. Okay. We don't vote on whether we like someone or don't like someone. We vote on their policies. That's why we vote. But they really have been very skilled at making Trump more likable. We're getting to see the side of Trump that I have seen for years. More Americans are starting to see it. And that is awesome. And I love it. I think it's just brilliant. So last but not least, I do have something on here that somebody's mentioning that, and I have not seen this yet, but breaking news, James O'Keefe, this is Flash. Hey, Flash. He's saying that there is a whistleblower has come forward, and James O'Keefe is covering this. that reveals the agency's focus, FEMA's focus on DEI initiatives over disaster response. There are higher priorities given to different racial groups. Obviously, it's a must watch. Okay, so we need to check that out. That's something that just dropped just recently. It's James O'Keefe, whistleblower on FEMA. And I will tell you this, one of my sisters, her husband, and I mentioned it on the stream a while back, but he took off work and he went down. Oh, sorry, that's not good. He went down to North Carolina to help, and just for 10 days, he's camped in a tent and went and just volunteered. And what he said he saw, there's so much devastation, so much loss of life, that bodies everywhere. And I can't even go into deep details, but he goes, it was so heartbreaking. And the fact that they're just saying that only a couple, 100 people were killed is such a lie. It is an absolute lie. And when FEMA shows up, they do basically what he told me. Allegedly, they show up, they do some photo ops, and they do absolutely nothing. And it is only the people that are on the ground there, that live there, that are burying bodies, that are taking care of the devastation, that are starting to reconstruct the roads, all of that. It's the people there. It's nothing to do with the federal government. Has done nothing to help, is what I am being told. And what my brother-in-law said that he saw on the ground when he was there. So I'm not surprised by this whistleblower report and the horrible response by the Biden-Harris administration to Hurricane Helene. That doesn't even surprise me, especially after what I've heard. Okay, what else? Okay, last but not least. So, okay. So this week has been basically, the Trump team has been like, let's show humor. Let's show the ability to talk for hours and be very candid and real and authentic. Let's love life, right? Let's love each other. Let's love life. Let's show that America is great and can be great, and we can return to normalcy, and we can get things back on the right track. And the Kamala campaign, the Harris campaign, has decided to do none of that, but instead call Trump supporters fascists and call Trump Hitler, and then tell the American people that are supporting Trump that they are garbage. And then, I don't know how this happened, but Mark Cuban yesterday is on with The View doing a stream with them. And he decides to say this.
Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple.
Okay, so I thought they would be good with, hey, you're fascist, you're Hitler, you're garbage. And then he's like, you know what? Let's just go one further. Let's just call all the women that are around Trump, that support Trump, that they're not strong and they're unintelligent. Let's just do that one. I mean, I don't know who. If I was on Kamala's campaign team, I'd be like, why? Is it self-sabotage? Are they trying to self-destruct? Calling people names is not the win. It's not the win you think it is. Insulting people at the very end of a huge major presidential campaign is not the way to go. But for some reason, Harris is like, yes, let's just call everybody names. And what's so funny is they called Trump the bully. They're the bullies. They're the ones that are name calling constantly. And this last week has been a record of just name calling and insults to anybody that doesn't believe the way you think. That's what they have decided to do. And wow, there are tons of women that Trump is surrounded by that are highly intelligent, very skilled. I know Lisa McMahon came on and did, she has a viral video up. I know that Danica Patrick has a viral video up about being a Trump supporter. they're now now it's like more just material they're giving Trump's campaign. Now there's just a vast array all over social media of women that are Trump supporters that have personally known Trump, or they're just supporting Trump, that are highly intelligent and very strong women. And it's just to combat the negative, hateful rhetoric of the Harris campaign. And it's just like I don't know. Like, is it self-destructive? Like, what? I don't understand the strategy here, but it's a terrible one. And if I was on Harris's campaign right now, I would be pulling my hair out. It's like, what? Just shut up. Just shut your face. Don't talk. Can we just be silent? I would just be silent from now until Tuesday. If I was a surrogate for her, I would be telling that, just no, don't talk. I would especially tell Tim Walz not to talk, because every time the guy opens his mouth, he's lying or spewing hateful rhetoric. So I'd be like, just Walz, like, no talking until after the election. Okay. Can we just, so that's a wrap for now. Who knows what they'll call us today, you guys? I mean, we still have time. And at this rate, they'll call us more names. They will call us more names. And they think that that's the winning argument. I don't know why you would support that. I don't get it. So, all right, you guys. So that's it. I mean, we are in the final stretch. Next time I do my live stream, unless something happens that's so monumental that I feel like I needed to go live, will be next Friday, and we will already have been through the election. So I know there's a lot of mixed emotions, a lot of different feeling, but I think that my prediction will be, if it's not such a landslide and we know on election night, then they will draw this out as long as they can. And so buckle up. Like I said, just let's go. Be ready. So, because if you're a globalist, if you're a communist, if you're a Marxist, you're not going to give up power. They don't go swiftly into the night. They resist, right? And when evil resists, they're always struggling until you just get it. Go. So, glad I said, oh, thank you guys. Such kind words. Usually I have some haters on here, but it's kind of quiet today. I don't know what they're thinking. I'd like to know. Let's see, you guys. Well, thank you. I appreciate the support. I do want to give a shout out, as I always do, to my Patreon supporters. They keep me going. Hopefully I can keep going. We'll see. We will see what happens with the selection, but I would like to continue doing this, and maybe get more creative. I was talking to one of my sisters. She's like, have like little segments, and so maybe I'll work on that. But a shout out to my Patreon supporters who do support me monthly. You don't have to give a lot. It can be just a few bucks or a lot. I do have some people that want to give generously. And then I have people that are like, this is all I can really do. And that is totally fine, because it keeps me going. It's an encouragement. It helps me buy wigs, buy lighting, camera, phone, all of that stuff. And I can keep creating. Like as you saw earlier, it's just me. So I'm trying to pull up the videos and do all that. And it does help. So I appreciate you guys. To my Patreon supporters, thank you very much. And to my Facebook. I do have people on Facebook that subscribe, and they also help out. So awesome. You guys are awesome. All right. Be praying. Just be praying. Pray and vote. That's what I have to say at this point. Pray. And my prayer is that God's will be done. And I've been praying that all the time when I'm with the kids. Well, we do a lot of praying here in this house, but when I pray for the election, I say, God, let your will be done. Let your will be done. And that's where I'm at. So let God's will be done, and protection over you and your loved ones, protection over those that you care about, and protection over this country. And my hope is that we get a reprieve, like I said earlier. So yes, but that's where I'm at. Pray and vote. Go vote. Vote. All right, you guys, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.